The presidential system of government and return to the parliamentary system is on the increase. A group of 60 lawmakers in the House of Representatives proposed an amendment to the 1999 Constitution for a departure from the presidential system of government to the parliamentary system. They said parliamentary system is cheaper, more effective and more accountable than the presidential system. Before we discuss this issue, let's share the story by TVC News Jockey Adisa with you.
In the twilight of the last assembly, a number of legislators pushed for a bill to move Nigeria from a presidential to a parliamentary system of government.
Today, we're here on behalf of 60 of us for a start.
As the sixth alteration to the Constitution beckons, a similar move is being spearheaded by more than 60 members. A number of bills to transit Nigeria to a parliamentary system of government at federal, state and local governments form some of the constitution amendment bills that scaled first reading at Wednesday plenary. Some of the arrowheads of the initiative addressed parliamentary reporters. The sponsors say the proposed parliamentary system will save Nigeria a huge cost of governance.
Despite several alterations to the Constitution to address the shortcomings of a system that has denied the nation the opportunity of attaining its full potentials. Among these imperfections are the high cost of governance, leaving fewer resources for crucial areas like infrastructure, education, and healthcare.
The lawmakers say there is the need to tone down the concentration at the center and limit the powers of the president.
Collapse of the First Republic and the long stretch of the military rule culminated into the adoption of a new system of government, theoretically fashioned after the presidential system of the United States, but in practice imbibed the utmost attributes of military rule. No wonder the Nigerian president appears to be one of the most powerful presidents in the world.
They also promise a transition period of between now and 2031.
We expect that the process will not necessarily terminate with the current administration. In actual fact, we expect that it will even go beyond 2027. But what is important is that we have set the ball rolling.
The parliamentary system of government replaces the president with a prime minister to serve as the head of government, as it establishes the office of the president as a ceremonial leader. It also shifts the process of electing governors and chairmen of local governments from general election to voting within their respective legislative bodies. Jockey Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Right. Gentlemen, what do you make of this bill? Is this the way to go? Okay, let me start with you.
Yeah, if you ask me, the presidential system of government is not the best for our nation because it's extremely expensive. I keep asking myself, how much longer can we go on with this presidential system of government, because it's extremely expensive. Some of the countries, look at Senegal, for example. The president decided to disband the Senate, if I am permitted to use that word, because he felt that the country didn't need a bicameral legislature. He felt that one chamber can do the job. And I'm convinced too, just like my friend, the former governor of Imo State, that we really don't need to have two chambers of the National Assembly. One can get the job done. If you want to retain the Senate, you can retain the Senate. If you want to retain the House of Reps, that will be fine. In fact, the House of Reps with their 360 members will provide greater balance and greater representation. Because we have a state like Lagos now with, I think, 24 House of Reps members from Lagos, and it's similar to Kano too. You know, Kano too has a high number of representatives, you know, House of Reps members. So the point that they are making is, look, if we will do this, if we go for parliamentary system, it is more efficient, more effective, more in terms of resources that you have to use. You use lesser resources to run the government. It is more accountable, according to him. According to them. Huh?
What is it?
Yes, in my view, yes. If you look, because if you look at some of the countries practicing parliamentary system of government, they are some of the most accountable in the world. You cannot look at Israel. Look at what their prime minister is going through. He knows at a point he had to make peace with rival parties so that he can form a government, because you must constantly work with the members of the parliament. Otherwise, you don't have a government. And once they sense any sign of lack of popularity, they will start calling for election. And you can easily lose. The example of India comes to my mind all the time. Vajpayee is reputed to be the architect of India's economic growth and development. But they lost the parliamentary election because Sonia Gandhi, who was the leader of the Congress party, was campaigning in rural communities and telling them that, look, you've been left behind in the prosperity of India. And the people voted, a lot of the cabinet members lost their seats. So, and the world was shocked that a prime minister who has done this much work, how can he lose an election? But it happened. And the Congress party returned to power. So, in many ways, you see that the parliamentary system of government allows for greater accountability. And when they tell us that, oh, because of the size of our country, we need a presidential system of government, Nigeria is not the only country that is large, that is not practicing. Look at Australia, one of the biggest countries in the world. It's parliamentary system that they are practicing. Look at Canada, Denmark, Israel, Barbados, Malaysia. It's a big country. Bangladesh, India, which is currently the most populated country in the world, that's overtaken China in terms of population. It's a parliamentary democracy that they practice. And then Switzerland. Some of the countries, some of the best countries, best run countries in the world, they are practicing parliamentary democracy. So for us, if we are to look at how expensive it is to run presidential democracy, I think that the way to go is to go the way of parliamentary democracy. But you know, you and I know that it's going to be difficult. Even their own colleagues, they've even done well to secure like 60 people. You know, their colleagues who will not want to lose the perks of office and all that are not likely to support them. But morally speaking, honestly, I think this presidential system is too expensive for us.
Sikian.
Well, my personal opinion.
And do you also agree or totally agree that Nigeria has a structure problem? Because I've heard people say it's not like the people there do not want to work, but the structure is not enabling them.
My problem is not the system. It's not the type of, whether presidential or parliamentary, that is our problem. Our problem are our leaders. The people. If you go to parliamentary, we try parliamentary and still put this set of people, they will ruin it. Our leaders are so greedy. I said it before now. They are selfish. Bring whatever system, they will still. We have to deal with this. The problem is the issue of corruption. These guys are greedy. This parliamentary system of government not work in the United States. Is it not where we copied it from? And let us even say it. When we got independence, was it not parliamentary system of government that was running? Go and watch the video of the coup that terminated that system. Yes. Part of those, let us leave the ethnocentric and whatever that was. But part of what was said, just like other subsequent coup and what we are talking about, the selfishness and corruption of our leaders. They were living so ostentatiously that they know tomorrow. And that is something will happen. For goodness sake, we have to deal with the mindset. An average Nigerian politician is not the kind of politician you see across the globe. It's not the type you see. Until we make politics less attractive. If you like, bring a water-military or Nigerian homegrown, these people, this setup, I totally don't. That is my personal opinion. So it's not the system that is not working. It's not the system. Yes, I agree that the presidential system is very... Okay, let us even go further. Also, listen to what they said, part of their... In the one that has been proposed, the president will be elected by them, the legislators. I'm sure you are aware. The governors will be elected by them. The chairman of the local government will be elected by them. Not we, the Nigerian people. So within themselves, these same people that most of them were not elected, that find their way into the parliament, at the National Assembly, at the State Assembly. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That most of them were, at the end of it all, we got that they got their victory through court and the rest of them, not through the will of the people. My personal opinion is that let our leaders devote themselves or their selfishness. Let them have the interest of Nigerians at heart. If they have the love of Nigerians at heart, most of the things they are doing. Is it parliamentary system that make the price of this thing to be this expensive as it were?
So do you think we should retain the presidential system of government?
I believe that this president, personally, I will go for parliamentary system because of some of the advantages we've seen. But what I'm trying to say, even if we do it with this set of, except we have a change in the mindset of our politicians, and they also come to see that they are there for service rather than for their own personality, irrespective of whatever system of government that will stay corrupted.
All right, gentlemen, we'll come back to this. Let's quickly take Femi from Alagbado. Good afternoon, Femi. Hello, good afternoon to you. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please go ahead, sir.
Can I go ahead?
Please do.
My advice for the ACC is that we should convene the National Working Committee meeting and schedule a new primary for both the two of them, both the Hausa and the other man from the other side. Conduct a general primary for the two of them so that whoever comes out as the number one listing will be their candidate. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Femi. So, Bikio, there are some persons saying that Nigeria should go back to the 2014 Compact that talked about modified presidential system.
I agree. I agree. There are many suggestions in that confab document that will benefit us as a nation. Why Jonathan and President Buhari did not adopt some of the, recommendations, or most of the recommendations is what I fail to understand. Like even the issue of state police was suggested during that confab. The school feeding that we now have, school feeding was suggested during that confab. Many bright ideas came up, but the way we usually do, we just dismiss. They said it was not backed by law, but it may not have been backed by law, but once you see some very bright ideas that have come out, you should have the courage to try to implement those ideas. I remember in 2006, I was in Enugu when the Southern leaders met and they agreed on rotatory system of power. By that, it means that power will be rotated even at and the states to be rotated between the senatorial zones, so that if this senatorial zone produce governor today, the next election will be the next. So power was supposed to be rotated, and it's supposed to go up like that right up to the presidential level. But because Obasanjo wanted third term desperately, all of those ideas that were supposed to be part of the constitutional amendment were jettisoned because of one person's ambition. Bright ideas that they came up with, there was not one of those ideas was taken, just because we wanted to make sure that Obasanjo did not succeed with his third term plan. Of course, in the end, he did not succeed, although he's been telling Nigerians that he did not want third term. But one of the closest ministers to him back then, Nasir El-Rufai, in his book, The Accidental Public Servant, detailed how they were planning to do third term for Obasanjo. So Baba knows in his heart that not many people believe his story, but that's a matter for another day. I believe that a modified presidential system can work. It's still presidential system in Senegal, but without the Senate. We need to look at what works for us. This is too expensive. Look at the cars. We are spending more than 50 billion buying SUVs for these lawmakers at the federal level. We can't continue like that. It's not sustainable. One day, something must give. We just can't continue. We have to tell ourselves, we are deceiving ourselves as if we have so much money.
You have to go.
We don't have so much money.
CK, in 30 seconds, your final take.
No, as I said, it's not the kind of system that we practice. We must have a mindset, a change of heart.
All right.
And the love of the country. If we're able to have that, then whichever system comes, let them give in their best. And the Nigerians will support them.
So that means it's a reorientation.
Orientation, that's what I'm saying, the orientation of the person and the character.
We have to go. Thank you so much. Thank you, BK. I've been speaking with Babajide Kolade Otutojo and Chris Kende Wandu. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And thank you to everyone who called in. That's all on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.